Now, tens of thousands of Ukrainians have staged the biggest mass rally since the Orange Revolution 9 years ago. They're calling on President Viktor Yanukovych to approve a new trade pact with Europe.
Members of opposition parties organized the protest. They say more than 100,000 people joined in. Ukrainian leaders were scheduled to sign an agreement this week as a precursor to further integration with the EU. But last week, government officials decided not to sign. They said they could not afford to break ties with Russia.
The standard of living, medical care, science and education. Everything is better in the EU than in Russia.
I can feel hopeful if Ukraine becomes a part of the European Union.
People feel so strongly about this trade and partnership deal because it would have marked an historic swing away from Russia and deepened Ukraine's ties with the EU. The Prime Minister says the decision not to sign was tactical and motivated solely by economics. But there was also intense pressure from Russia, which Ukraine depends on for imports of gas. The Kremlin wants Ukraine to join its own customs union with 2 other former Soviet republics. It sees this as a prototype rival to the EU. Ukraine's government now seems to hope it can keep everyone happy. Officials are proposing a joint trade commission between Moscow, Brussels and Kiev. But it's not clear yet if this is really what the government wants and whether it's actually possible.
Riot police and angry demonstrators fought each other in front of government buildings as one group tried to break into the Cabinet of Ministers' offices. The protest was the biggest Ukraine's seen since the 2004 Orange Revolution. Pro-EU supporters want Ukraine's President Viktor Yanukovych to sign the trade pact with the European Union as agreed during a summit in Lithuania on Friday. His decision to pull out due to pressure from Moscow has been roundly condemned by Ukraine's top opposition figures.
The protests were urged on by jailed former Prime Minister Yulia Tymoshenko. Brussels had demanded the Orange Revolution leader's release for medical treatment as a condition for Ukraine signing the trade deal. On Sunday, Tymoshenko's daughter read out a letter from her mother calling the EU treaty a roadmap to a normal life.
We need to force Viktor Yanukovych to change his humiliating decision and to sign the agreement on association with the European Union in Vilnius on November 29th. We have to do this and fight for it, because it's much more than just an agreement.